Last contestant, Somrat Niyogi, the CEO and founder of Miso.
Hey guys, first I want to say thanks Fortune for having us here today. We want to fundamentally change the way you engage and watch TV. You click the button here. So let's go to the panel here. How many of you guys use your laptops while you watch TV? How many of you use your mobile device or now your iPad? So it seems like almost everybody. We think that there's this massive shift happening in the living room. And our addiction to mobile devices and the internet is causing this new behavior, which is using the internet simultaneously while you watch TV. And if we look at Google, so when something is mentioned on TV, search results spike. So people aren't running to their desktops to go find something, they're literally doing it while they watch TV. Or if you look at the Super Bowl and Twitter, not only are people talking about what's happening on TV in real time, but people are also mentioning the brands. So we think that there's this huge opportunity. Can we capture someone's attention while they watch TV? Can we build an experience that complements what they're watching? Can we make it more social? Can we make it more fun? Can the ads be more relevant to you while you're watching? And that is what Miso is solving for. So imagine a day where I'm watching the NFL, my friends are there, we're socializing while we're out watching from our own house, from our own homes. Content's being pushed to me in real time, so as a player appears on screen, information about that player is pushed to me. And I'm getting points for proving which team I'm supporting more. That is what Miso is actually solving for. We're building a second screen experience that makes watching TV more social and more fun. It's distributed, it's on your web, it's on your mobile device. We think the iPad is huge. I think there was a survey of 150 people that bought an iPad. 98% of them actually use it while they watch TV. And it's also going to push information to you in real time. Why search for information? People are very, very curious. Why can't that information be pushed to you while you're watching? There's a lot of ways to make money if we can actually show that attention is captured and we can do that at scale. There's a $74 billion TV ad business that we feel like we can capitalize against. Data, we're going to know what you watch, when you watch, where you watch, who you watch it with. So somehow that data can be valuable. E-commerce, I'm not sure about you guys, but whenever I see a product on TV and I'm generally curious, why can't I buy that product at the moment that it appears? Entertainment Weekly, I know they always have this page where they talk about great products. Why can't that information be pushed while I'm watching? And then content distribution. If we can have the networks participate and actually get people to engage in interesting ways with new content that supports the second screen, there's another opportunity as well. So our first proof of concept, so we built this proof of concept, and it's in movie speak, and it's fundamentally not what we do, but it's a sort of a Foursquare for TV. People check in, tell their friends what they're watching, post to their social networks, and we make it fun by collecting points and badges to do so. We're on the web, we're on the iPhone, we're on the iPad, and we've seen sort of significant growth. Oh, did I go? So we've seen significant growth since we sort of alpha launched a couple of months ago. And what's interesting here is that the networks are starting to say, how can we incentivize users to actually continuously not only drive premier viewership, but also tune in through the entire season. So they're using our platform as a marketing vehicle to drive more viewers to watch their shows by using points and badges, and we have tons of other partnerships prepared over the next couple of months. We're Google Ventures seed funded. We're 6 employees. We're in San Francisco, and we want to change the way you watch TV. So, thank you. We're actually, just before we finish, what we're working on for next is we think we want to go deeper with the iPhone and iPad experience. We want to build the second screen experience. So you actually watch TV and have Miso open the entire time. We want to figure out how to do that. That scales across different types of content verticals, whether you watch sports versus episodic content or a reality show. And we want to focus on more users and more growth. So
before we go to the judges, since you have a little more time, why are you named after a kind of soup?
You know, I don't have a good story for you. It was not like we were sitting down and we're having some soup and we're like, hey, why don't we call ourselves Miso? We wanted short and sweet, and we've always thought, you know, the coolest companies make their company a verb. So, you know, you tweet this, you Facebook message, I'm going to Google this. So hopefully in the future you're going to Miso what you're watching.
Interesting. So Jeff, if memory serves me correctly, you invested in company called TiVo that changed the way people watch TV, so it seems appropriate for you to go first.
Yeah, no, so I love the idea of this. I mean, I think this is a behavior that absolutely happened. I mean, one of the things you got to figure out is how you're going to deal with time-shifted TV, and you know, when increasingly that's happening either on their DVRs or they're watching it over the web or what have you, or even on demand. One of the questions I've got is this a feature versus a company? But I think the behavior will happen. We've already seen 5 or 6 companies trying to do this, and they all talk about the 4 square of TV. And it's, for me, really at this point, really hard to handicap the winner. But I think the space is really interesting. I think the behavior will happen. I think the winner will be the people that really get big business development and distribution deals.
Dana?
So it's funny, I sort of wrote on here, interactive TV is finally here, and I think it is. I mean, just based on behavior and what people are actually doing. What I'm not sure, I guess, based on your presentation is, sort of why you guys, why should you be the one that will win, and what's the, sort of, what is it that you're doing that is really kind of fundamentally changing things and allowing you to, sort of interject sort of yourself at this intersection. And then, of course, how do you get paid for it, which is always an important point. And when you're dealing with content companies on the one hand and device manufacturers on the other, it can get a little tricky. But I agree with Jeff. I think that interactive TV really is finally here, and I think people are checking in all sorts of ways already. So,
Richard.
Great presentation, great idea, great concept, something I believe in. Same kind of comments as I'm really worried about the competition. I mean, with 6 guys working together, it's going to be very difficult when every major media company is trying to do the same thing. And when, finally the TV screen does become the computer screen and it's actually interactive during the show, I think if you could build this fast and focus on building some kind of moats around your business, it's just your competition is going to be enormous because it's such a great idea.
Well, we are going to go fast, so that's probably one of our strategies, and I'd love to share my responses after the session.
All right, thank you very much. Miso. Now, stay with me for a moment. If you would be so kind, our polling mechanism is text messaging. The number is 56418. Are we going to put that up on the screen also?
Show it.
What's that now? You can't remember that. 56418. I'll say it a few more times. 3A for Mercant, 3B for Badgeville, 3C for Ben Franklin's Wheels, 3D for Maju Metal, and 3E for Miso. And the number once again is 56418. While you're voting and while we're waiting for the polling to be tabulated, I'm just going to ask each of the 3 of you which you would vote for if you had a telephone in your hands, which you don't. Jeff, you first.
Well, I got to say, I think Miso is really an interesting idea. The competition, I'd like to look into it. I really like the woman with the big brain. I think Mercant would probably be the one that would be the one that would dig into the most.
That's the layup as you see it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But I got to say, I think Miso's behavior will definitely happen.
Dana?
for my fund specifically,
Yeah, professional
I think some of those
hat
are
on.
other interesting areas. I'd say Mercant and Miso would definitely be 2 that we would follow up with, and Ben Franklin, just because I think it's kind of quirky and out there.
Electric bikes.
Everybody needs one.
I hate to say the same thing, but I think Miso has the biggest opportunity and where I really believe the market's going and could be actually a game changer. But I think the e-commerce focus right now is actually a really great time for e-commerce to be rethought of again. And I think there's some big opportunities there.
Could you each talk about for a moment what you like to hear in a pitch? We saw 5 pitches, different styles, some consistency, not a ton of consistency across them. We'll come the other direction. What do you look for? And you do angel investing, right? That's why we wanted you.
Sometimes.
Here. You're an investor.
Sometimes, you know what? I think the enthusiasm. I think the enthusiasm's a big deal. I think what was weird on this one is no one talked about their track record, right? Typically, you will have someone say, I built this company, or I've done this, or I have this degree. I think that's important. Someone that has, at least from my standpoint, done something entrepreneurial in the past. Also, is it a feature? I don't know. Jeff and I think the same way. In today's world, all the companies that we're looking at are probably better off as features than businesses.
But just to be fair, someone can have a a good background and a bad idea, right?
Absolutely, or they could have a great idea and a bad background. It's just something you usually hear. You ask some of the things you usually hear, but there are entrepreneurs who you meet that have a way of thinking and have some success in the past that they then build on their next company. So if the next generation is then iteration of their prior success, to me that's something that's really exciting.
Dana, what do you like to hear?
So same thing, I was going to make the same comment. I did it a little bit with me. So I mean, it's kind of why you, and that comes down to, sort of really who are the people, and what is, not just do they have great backgrounds, but what's the relevance of their backgrounds to what they're doing now, and I think that's really key. The other thing that we always look for is, do they have a team that's worked together before? Are they sort of following them? Because I think that's where you just see sort of repeat success with teams that have worked together. They just get each other. They can get up and going quickly. And I think Richard said it well. I mean, passion for what you're doing, and that sort of shows through as well. And that comes out, with everybody that you're pitching to in the world. And you're the number one salesperson for the company if you're the founder and CEO. And
we should be fair and point out that you all give, especially you two, give entrepreneurs more than 5 minutes to pitch to you when you take a meeting.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's 6.
Jeff, you want to add anything?
Well, I mean, I look for 5 things. The first is what problem are you trying to solve? The 2 is how will you change the world? Imagine a world where your product or service exists. I love to hear an analogy, so I love the 4 square of TV. I like that. How big is it? Who are you? And why is this a good business to be in?
Terrific. Okay, I want to make a. I'm told that the poll tally is going to be brought to me by messenger. It is being brought to me.
So old school.
Wow.
But first, I want to tell you that cocktail hour is upon us, and cocktails will be served in the Marble Garden, and I'm sure we'll follow everybody to the Marble Garden. And dinner will be in the McNulty Room at 7 o'clock, where during dinner, Andy Serwer will interview Irving Azoff, the executive chairman of Live Nation Entertainment. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, the winner. And I don't have a vote tally, and I can't tell you how many votes the winner got. Well, no, we should do a drum roll, actually. Monumental came in 3rd. Miso got the 2nd most votes, and Startup Idol for Fortune Brainstorm Tech 2010 is Mercent. Congratulations.